Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world.
From the Keith Vincent Kaola Studios in Patterson, New Jersey, Green Hour Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, the ghosts of St. Augustine, Florida. What's going on? And now your host, JC3.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
adamandeve.com.
Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real? Is this real? I have to do it because as you can see, we only have 4 members in the booth tonight, and Pope is not with us, and Cito's not with us. So in the booth tonight, we have the big man himself, Big Joe. Say hello.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our program.
We have Mr. West. Mr. West, what's up?
Oh, konnichiwa.
We have the Roblox here, Lord Roblox, as it likes to be called.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody?
And like you heard in the beginning, I'm JC3. Tonight, we're taking a trip down to sunny Florida. At the tip of sunny Florida, we're going to be talking about the ghost of St. Augustine, the town of St. Augustine.
Ironic.
Which is a nice town.
It is.
But it's just not worth the drive to get there from where we are in
That's
North
why
Jersey.
you take a plane.
Well, I don't fly. I haven't flown yet, so maybe someday I will. I don't know.
So, we,
Wait, you've never taken a plane?
Never been in a plane.
I've never been in a plane either.
I thought
Never
I
had a
was-
reason to go anywhere. I mean, it was never. We always went down to shore.
It's actually
or
kind of sad.
huh?
That's actually kind of sad.
Oh,
never
no, I
said
was gonna
would have
say-
a camper. I mean, come on.
I was gonna say
How
you
long
got
you know me now?
you
Dude.
got me beat. I didn't technically actually ride on my first plane as an adult until I was like 18. So
You've still been on a plane though.
yeah, I know.
Okay. Anywho, we'll talk about our travel accommodations sometime.
Hey, he asked, I answered. What do you want from me?
As we're talking about the ghost of St. Augustine, guys. Now, Dad and I have been there. We've been to St. Augustine. Have you ever been to St. Augustine, Eric?
I have
Mr.
not been
West?
to St. Augustine. I have heard of this place though only from the fact that like it's supposedly like a really good place to live in the entire country.
It's beautiful.
Um,
Very old.
Yeah, it's got like a very old school.
Well, they have
feel
old
to it.
St. Augustine,
Mhm.
and then they have the new part
Yeah, the older St. Augustine goes back as far as like the 1600s. And
with the conquistadors.
what happened in St. Augustine?
Wait, hold on. I didn't introduce Roadblock.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I did introduce. I want to ask him, like, have you ever been to St. Augustine?
No, I don't believe so. I remember.
Motherfucker. He wanted to go right into the whole content of the episode. I'm like,
well,
Roadblock didn't even answer the question.
I lived in Florida for one point, and I think the most I did was probably visit like Tampa or something like that. I don't think I.
But have you
Whole
heard?
opposite
but,
of the
but
coast,
you've
my
heard of
guy.
this place though, before, though, right?
I've heard of St. Augustine. I just never actually been there.
The whole opposite other side of the coast.
That's what I'm saying. I have no idea.
St. Augustine's East Coast, Tampa's West Coast.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. So yeah, I mean St.
West
Augustine.
Coast of Florida.
Yeah, West Coast of Florida. Yes. Fuck, that's what I meant. St. Augustine's old as fuck. Let's put it like this: like it was founded in 1565.
oh dear God.
It's old.
Like it predates the America being America by over 200 years.
And it was settled by who? Come on.
I'm looking, mother.
You gotta look. You didn't learn this in school?
Do you know who it was settled by?
Oh my God, the
Do
education
you know who it
system
was
is-
settled by?
Well, I'm gonna Ponce de Leon.
I understand you were there.
Well, maybe. I might have been there. Yes. Okay. And I guess you never heard of the Fountain of Youth? That never crossed your mind?
I mean, I've heard the Fountain of Youth, but it was more like a mystical thing where I've heard it like the Fountain of Youth was on parts of the Caribbean and stuff like that. Like that's where they like you jump in it.
Wrong part of Florida, but anyway, okay. All
I
right.
mean, no, I know.
I
What I'm
stand
saying
corrected.
is I've heard
the
of Fountain of Youth
educational
before.
system in our country is basically fucked. But okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying. So, we've talked about this with old time areas. We did what was it?
Old time.
Gettysburg. We talk about Alcatraz. You're talking about places that are old that have been established like many years before. Like I'm talking centuries now. And there's going to be energies there, and obviously there's a lot of energies if it fucking predates America by almost 200 years.
Well,
I've heard that there's a lot of battles that have happened at this place.
Well,
they got
it's
a
on the
giant
water.
Fort right
Yeah,
there.
it's a fort.
Amazing. That's right. An old whatever the hell name of the town we're talking about, St. Augustine.
So I'll just
Really nice.
This is by Ghost City Tours, St. Augustine. Not sponsored, by the way. On the coast of Florida, where the Talamado and Montazas rivers spill out into the unforgiving waters of the Atlantic, stands one of the America's oldest and most haunted structures, the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Standing at 164 feet tall, nestled on the northern edge of Anastasia Island since the mid-1500s, this lone sentry has seen its fair share of history, for better or worse. I'm actually looking for the town of St. Augustine. Thank you. 400 miles of Jacksonville, blah, blah, blah. It is founded in 1565 by Spanish explorers as the oldest continuously inhabited European established settlement in what is now the whatever the fuck in the United States.
Continental United States.
It's contiguous. There we go.
Contiguous. All right.
I said it right. Was founded on September 8th, 1565 by Spanish Admiral Pedro Menendez de Avilas. You ever heard about that? You know, I'll be honest, you could be
Try
like a
saying-
family member.
Try saying his name 5 times fast. Like,
He
seriously.
said he's Spanish, not Puerto Rican.
I don't know.
They had less time to
shit.
travel. Spain came from Spain.
Florida's first governor, he named the settlement San Augustine for his ships bearing settlers, troops, and supplies from Spain. Had first sighted land in Florida 11 days earlier on August 28th, the Feast of St. Augustine. The city served as the capital of Spanish Florida for over 200 years. It was designated as the capital of British East Florida when the colony was established in 1763. Great Britain returned Florida to Spain in 1783. Spain ceded, I thought that was an O. Spain ceded Florida to the United States in 1819, and St. Augustine was designated one of the two alternating capitals of the Florida Territory, the other being Pensacola. Upon ratification of the Adams-Onis Treaty in 1821, The Florida National Guard made its headquarters that same year. The territorial government moved and made Tallahassee the permanent capital of Florida in 1824. St. Augustine is part of Florida's first coast region and the Jacksonville metropolitan area. Since the late 19th century, St. Augustine's distinctive historical character has made the city a tourist attraction. Castillo de San Marcos, the city's 17th century Spanish fort, constructed out of sedimentary rock, coquina, continues to attract tourists. So this place is old as shit.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, when we went there, if anybody wants to see it, we did a video. We don't have a video of like the town of St. Augustine. I don't think we filmed there. We just filmed the lighthouse. It's a beautiful fucking lighthouse. A lot of fucking stairs. Halfway through, huffing and puffing.
There's like 186 stairs or something
I was in the middle like...
You're a big boy, dude. You barely made it up the hill.
Don't worry, man.
You barely made it up the hill when we were trying to go to Hell's Gate.
I was the second one up the hill.
Anyway,
fuck y'all. All right, I was the second one.
I mean, you want to go right into the lighthouse, or do you want to go into?
No, let's go because I have.
So, like, what makes this place so haunted?
Well, because it's old, but I have different places in.
By that logic, Dad would be haunted. Can you like?
He is. He's just. He's just mad.
I'm not mad. I want to get into it.
He just emanates.
Emanates just anger. Dad, why are you mad all the time? Helps keep down the rage. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, so I'm not even going to talk about the lighthouse and maritime museum yet. I do want to get into other places in St. Augustine.
Yeah, we can say the last thing.
The lighthouse is the biggest one because that's where a lot of shit has happened.
Well, I'm going to debate on that because I got a place called Harry's Seafood and Steaks where...
How's the seafood and steak?
Harry's Seafood and Steaks.
No, I'm asking how is it?
I don't know. I've never been there.
Sounds really good.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but it's...
We never tried it.
You can't tease me with seafood and steak and like not give details. Come on.
Yeah, I don't care about the ghost. How's the chicken? You know, how's the steak tasting? You know what I'm saying?
I want to try that seafood. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking forward to this episode. I'm slowly changing my mind.
Does your dad cook? No. Okay. All right, so I do want to talk. I have the old jail museum in St. Augustine.
Go ahead, let's go with it.
St. Augustine's old jail museum is scary enough during the day, but after dark, it's quite the chilling place. During a 40-minute experience, visitors can participate in actual paranormal investigation of what is generally considered the city's most haunted building. After all, it housed prisoners from 1891 to 1953 in deplorable conditions and was the site of several documented hangings and mysterious or unnatural deaths.
Nice.
All of this makes the old jail an epicenter for paranormal activity. And whether you're a ghost hunter or just curious, now this is, we're like throwing up, like, I'm just reading their thing. You'll be prepared to encounter strange and peculiar phenomenon with experienced guides, state-of-the-art equipment, blah, 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 blah. So they actually do ghost hunts now, like for legit ghost hunts. Like, we wanted to do a live show there after last year. We were like, we should do a live show here.
Yeah, we got the permission to do it, but we just never got around to getting it done.
Yeah, we're getting the equipment down there, you know. The summer came and we all were like, oh, nobody has money. So that's what happened. I'm joking.
I forgot about that, to be honest. Nobody ever brought it up.
It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Then we have the St. Francis Inn. As the oldest inn in St. Augustine. I do want to go dive more into the jail, though. Like, I really like that. Jails seem to be a thing, man. Where obviously, you know, it's a jail. People are gonna have bad memories and bad energy attached to a jail, and that's interesting to me because of that. Like, we did fucking Alcatraz, and we all know the history of Alcatraz. So I definitely want to dive into the jail a little bit more. So let's go to the St. Francis Inn for right now. As the oldest inn in St. Augustine, built in 1791, the St. Francis Inn has had its share of ghost sightings and stories. One particular story goes back to the fate of the two star-crossed lovers. A slave girl beaten savagely for her affair, and her lover, the nephew of the manager who committed suicide upon learning of her death.
Is that some Romeo and Juliet type shit?
I was gonna say the same shit, dude. You like pulled it from my brain.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing the manager. Okay, so this is what probably happened. The manager, old white man, his nephew, white young man, fell in love with a slave girl. Can't have that. Not in the South in 1791.
Not in Spain.
Well, this is United States at that point.
Yeah, this is
1791.
later. Yeah,
This is
later,
after, with America,
Oh, this is after like,
Colonizers.
Yeah, colonizers. So this is
This is like Louisiana Purchase type shit.
yeah, this is after all that shit. So, so you have an old white manager and his nephew, right? I said nephew.
I believe so.
Yeah, her lover. The nephew of the manager. So obviously, the manager couldn't have his nephew fall in love with a slave girl, so he beats the slave girl, and then the nephew was like, "No, my love." That's basically how that happened. And I'm guessing
Lily, I think.
And I'm guessing that hotel is haunted by either the slave girl looking for her lost love, or what? Why are you looking at me that way? Or the nephew who's also looking for her too. They're just looking for each other.
Well, the story is as we're going to go into the St. Francis Inn. The story is told of a young man who lived with his uncle, Major William Hardy, who owned the inn during the middle of the 19th century. He fell in love with Lily, one of the black servant girls believed to have been a beautiful slave woman from Barbados. Kind of sounds like Crucible. Anyway,
Tichiba, I am from Barbados.
and they would sneak into rooms of the inn to carry on their secret love affair. When the uncle, a military officer, walked in on the lovers, he dismissed the servant and ordered his nephew never to see her again. The nephew, deeply depressed, killed himself.
Did one of those.
Some say by hanging himself in the attic. Now Lily's room. Others say by jumping from the third floor window. For years, inn guests and employees have reported apparitions of the ghost in Lily's room and in parts of the inn.
Yeah, I have here. Since that time, many guests have reported unnatural phenomena that include male and female apparitions, guests waking up under the bed, ghost hands on bedposts, and pictures and personal property being moved out of the room. So you're telling me I'm gonna go to this inn, fall asleep in the bed, and somehow I wake up under the bed?
Well, I don't know about all that, but I
I
got one question for one member of this panel.
Hold on,
I
Josh.
would scream like a child.
Josh is about to talk. Josh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's not necessarily a haunting or the doing of haunted things, because I remember when I was a teenager, I used to fall asleep in my bed, wake up on the floor. That's not a far stretch. I think that's
But the whole bed on
You're
top
a
of
kid
you?
at that time. These are adults.
Like, there's a difference if I wake up on the floor. Like, I get that. But if, like, the whole bed is on top of me?
Yeah, dude. Like, imagine you go to sleep like this.
No,
and
dog.
you
I'm talking
and you
about
wake-
I fell
and you
asleep.
wake up and the bed is just on top of you. Like,
No,
what the
dog.
fuck?
I'm talking about like I fell asleep on the bed and then I woke up like by the steps on the floor.
See, I was going to think, like, you got drunk one night, and I'm like, yeah, I ended up under the bed. That shit just happens.
No, I was a teenager.
Okay, like you weren't drinking when you were a teen. Shut up.
You know, you're not supposed to say that on there.
She's Lily.
You are literally almost 40.
Still not supposed to say it on there.
Wow.
That's all you hear is just, wow. Go ahead, Dan.
Lily has been seen by housekeeping. There's a little story of the MTV was on one television while cleaning Lily's room. When she returned from getting clean sheets in the hall, the television was turned off. She jokes Lily did not like MTV. Maybe she just never understood it. Or I don't know.
Well, just think about this. Like if you're a ghost and you see a fucking, like, a computer or a TV, you don't know what the fuck that is.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
You either think that's some Satan worship shit.
When we did the ghost hunt next door, the whole genesis of the audio recording we got is she stopped what she was doing, the ghost girl, and said, "What is that?"
Yeah, I don't even know. Do you remember what her name was?
I do not.
Mama used to tell us what the name was all the time.
Well, yeah. Now, again, I lived in a house.
Was it
for
Emily?
I don't know.
No.
I lived in a house for 26 years. I saw my share of weird shit. But that basically was coming from the living.
Did you stop?
Not anybody that was dead.
Did you stop looking in the mirror?
Aren't we funny? Okay, so
All right, we have another one, Casa de Suenos, maybe the spookiest bed and breakfast in St. Augustine. Quite possibly the reason it is before it was converted into a bed and breakfast, it catered to a different clientele, the dead. It was a successful funeral home.
I mean, how can a funeral home not be successful?
I don't know, man.
I'm not bringing my dead guy there.
Maybe he woke up dead. I don't know.
That's a zombie.
Bless you.
Guests have reported seeing apparitions, and some objects have been
All
moved.
right, now shut the fuck up.
Have been moved about in their room. Of course, this is the kind of nightmare activity interests you. Be our guest. St. Augustine restaurant. Oh, there you go, Dad. Even restaurants and pubs have their share of supernatural sightings in St. Augustine. Apparitions have been sighted in Stogie's Cigar Bar and in the restroom at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill, to name a few. Someone took a mean devil shit.
Costanza or something like that. A little side note for the ghosts of Casa de Suenos.
Suenos.
Whatever.
Suenos.
In the 1940s, the casa passed from the hands of a cigar factory owner, P.F. Carcabra, to undertaker William McGrath. McGrath converted the building into the Garcia Funeral Home, which operated successfully until the 60s. Known for its convenience, locals were encouraged to walk in and make funeral arrangements. Windows were lined with custom-made caskets, and the front yard was filled with top-of-the-line granite headstones. You know, to me, this sounds a little bit like maybe the place was sending off a vibe.
Leave me the fuck alone.
No, we're sending off a vibe. Like, you see caskets and tombstones. It's going to conjure up an image.
You think it's just people conjuring their own image in their head?
Right. Kathleen Hurley, who transformed the former funeral home into the bed and breakfast in the 90s, remembers visiting the funeral home when she was a girl. At the time, she had no interest in St. Augustine, but after spending several years in New York City, she grew tired of living in a fast lane.
I can't live.
She unpacked her belongings. She stopped for a brief moment to look necessary paperwork. She was sitting on the floor reading the documents when the contents of one of her boxes jumped out and landed next to her. Ghost or wind?
Depends on where it was placed.
Right.
If it's placed in a room, granted, but it's placed in a room on the opposite side of the window.
I mean, they're reporting the same things that other people are reporting in this place. Strange noises, footsteps, creaks, tappings.
Well, let's just put it like this.
Older buildings are going to settle.
Yeah, we're going to sit there and go to break right in just 1 minute. The older buildings are going to settle, and they're going to sit there, and they're going to creak. They're going to do that. I hear noises in this old fucking mausoleum all the time. But there's a difference between hearing a creak and hearing, like, a little girl laugh. Or hearing...
But there's no reports of that here at all.
Footsteps. Or hearing a door slam. Building can creak all at once. It's not going to be a door slamming, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, all right, we're going to get into the history of the lighthouse and the surrounding grounds of the lighthouse after we get back from break. So please take a listen to some of our sponsors.
Hey everybody, we're just letting you know that we have new merch in our store. Go to greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio for our first ever logo drop. The Cryptid Collection is here. Get your favorite cryptids such as Bigfoot, Mothman, Nessie, the Yeti, or the Jersey Devil on t-shirts, hats, or mugs. You can also get all of our podcast logos on various items as well. Remember, that's greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio. New episodes of Is This Real drop Sundays at 8. Question everything.
Hello, this is JC3 speaking. If you want to know more about Is This Real podcast and our parent company Green Hour Media, then visit greenhourmedia.org. You can find and follow all of our social media pages through our website. If you love our content, then you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Patreon page. Remember, that is greenhourmedia.org. And we are back. Our episode today, as always, is brought to you by Dubby. Go to w.gg, punch the code IsIsRealPC, all one word, to get 10% off all of your Dubby products.
Buy Dubby. Buy Dubby now.
Dubby's like, why do we need these people on our podcast?
I don't know what's better, the episode or between takes. I really don't.
Oh, no, the in-between take does not get sent out.
But for $49.95, you guys can have your own private reel.
In that case, why don't we just send it? Hey,
That's a bargain. $49.95. Like, that's a fucking bargain.
Yes. Yeah. They'll play it at most clan meetings, Dad. Okay, so let's get back into St. Augustine. Okay. I actually have info on the fort and the ghosts that have happened in the fort. Castillo de San Marcos, the largest masonry, and I said that correctly because I'm thinking back in season 4 when I said Freemasonry and everyone jumped on me. Masonry.
Yes.
Very good.
There's no fucking
Like 9 seasons, but hey, whatever.
Nice.
The largest masonry structure of its kind in the USA, the magnificent 17th century fort stands as it has for many centuries, guarding the coast against invasion and surviving more than 300 years of battles and storms. It's here that many supernatural enthusiasts flock to investigate the accounts of inexplicable events. Within one of the watchtowers, there have been reports of light shining from a fixture that has no electricity running to it. Other spooky occurrences include the sighting of a Spanish soldier standing at the edge of the fort, looking out to sea when the sun is about to rise or set. In the dungeon, many people say they felt as if someone with cold hands was touching them. Others felt queasy and cold while walking through. It's also not uncommon for visitors that have shot videos and taken pictures while taking a tour to report the appearance of misty shapes, glowing orbs, and even see-through shapes of a person. I'll be honest, just the see-through shapes as we experienced in the Alcatraz, the one photo of the chick on the side.
Right.
Seeing a see-through person is fucked up on its own, right? I think we all agree on that. What's eerie to me and creeps me out, if it's true, is a light turning on that has no electricity running to it.
Yeah, that's that's shocking. Actually, is what it is.
Big pun over there. That's terrifying. Because you're like, one, it would piss me off. Like, there's no fucking electricity. Why is it fucking on? What the fuck is going on here?
See, that's tough for me to believe, though. I mean, because I don't know.
Well, I have heard different instances, not in obviously St. Augustine, but different hauntings, guys,
Right.
that a TV would turn on even if it's unplugged. That I've heard in a lot of, I'm sorry to say, I've heard in a lot of, like, demonic activity.
It's going to happen with demonic. Yeah, it's not going to happen with human spirits. They don't have the power to do that. There's no way that's going to happen. In
Well,
my
what if the
opinion,
human-
if I'm wrong, anybody out there knows
What if
more,
the human
please
spirit was an
enlighten me.
electrician?
What happened? No, they don't generate their own power source. If they did, I mean, come on.
What?
The Democrats would try to get them together and put them in one
haunt your
spot.
HVAC. Ooh, your window
So
unit's fucked, bro. Ooh.
I
So
heard
that's
about clean energy, but that's
the castle.
ridiculous.
Obviously, I mean not the castle. That's
The fort.
the fort, which actually kind of looks like, if you look at it, what do you think that looks like? To me, that looks like a one of those throwing blades, not blades. What are those throwing stars?
Yeah.
Shuriken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, what's good about all this stuff down there is you can tour most of it.
Well,
You
they're
know?
giving away ghosts, like in these ghost tours. And again, this is not a plug for St. Augustine, but in these ghost tours.
Well, you know what? I mean, maybe.
Hey, St. Augustine, do you want to sponsor the podcast?
You know what? Maybe in some ways it is our own little plug. You know?
Yeah. In these ghost tours, they actually set you up with ghost hunting equipment.
Right.
Like, you don't have to bring your own. They're like, here's a camera, here's a recorder, here's a whatever. Go. Find a ghost.
Go. Find something.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't realize. I mean, you watch these big shows, Zach Bagans or Ghost Hunters, and that they have all this illustrious equipment, and that's nice if you can afford it. It's great. If you got a smartphone and you got an app, you can pick up voices, you can record. They also have parts of the app have night vision on them, you know, you might have to spend 15, 19 or whatever it is.
Those night visions
But
suck, I
it's a
tried.
lot better than going out and getting yourself a flu or a Fure or whatever it's called. It's
Don't listen to him.
you know
Go
what I
get the
mean.
Fleur.
It's a night vision camera.
All right, the next one is the Spanish military hospital. When you enter this historic building, don't be alarmed by an unnerving sensation you feel, as if
It's a hospital, so I can expect that.
as if a sad, heavy presence is surrounding you. This feeling has been experienced by many who entered the hospital, which was built in 1821 when the city had to replace the water lines that ran under the building. When construction began, workers discovered thousands of human bones buried underneath the hospital. After some investigating, they learned that the hospital sat on Timucuan burial ground. The Native Americans, I hate when they use the term Indians, but I like the term Native Americans. The Native Americans were native to St. Augustine in its earliest years. Whether the presence people felt was that of the spirits of these lost souls is unknown, but hauntings in this building still occur to this day. Moans, screams. I thought it was a Native American tribe. I'm Moan. Moans, screams, and cries, misty sightings of patients in hospital gowns, and the outline of bodies laying on the beds when no one was there. Just a few of the accounts.
Well, there was a lot of madness going on there.
Well, I mean, with
forget
hundreds
it's
of
a-
bones. I mean, if it,
Right,
listen,
you got that. And
we've talked about Native American burial grounds. I don't fuck with those.
No, I mean,
Nope. Pass.
you know, it was a breeding ground for misery and death. These things, they take their toll on the area. You know, it's not like you can have all this stuff here and it's not going to leave back any traces of hauntings. Now, are these hauntings residual, or are these hauntings intelligent? That's where you got to come. I mean, do they stop and talk to the people? Do they move shit around, or do they just walk through walls at 6 o'clock every day?
Well, I mean, if they're leaving outprints of bodies on beds that have nobody on them, that's kind of unsettling.
it is
might
unsettling.
be
You're
just
dealing with the
residual.
supernatural. It's going to be unsettling. I mean, and you can also tour this place.
You can
It's-
tour everything in St. Augustine,
yeah.
Dad.
The one
For a
place
price, you can tour it.
I know you're itching to get to the lighthouse, but there's a few more places.
No,
I'd like to
there
go.
is. I have a couple here.
I want to
Like
go.
the lighthouse might be the last thing
Right.
we cover.
I want to talk about Harry's when it's my turn. You know.
Okay, but here's a place that we're gonna go, which doesn't surprise me if there's ghosts here. Huguenot Cemetery.
A cemetery, but of course.
Located just across from the old city gate, the Huguenot Cemetery opened in 1821 to offer a final resting place to those who were of other faiths, since the nearby Talamato Cemetery was reserved for Catholics only. In the beginning, many of the deceased laid to rest here were victims of the yellow fever epidemic that swept through the city. The ancient burial ground is believed to hold approximately 436 bodies and was open for burials until 1884. Today is a home to a variety of ghosts who've been spotted by visitors at all times of day and night. The most famous ghost is the spirit of Judge John B. Stickney, who was well liked in St. Augustine and known for offering free legal advice and services to his neighbors. After passing away from yellow fever, the Honorable Judge was buried in 1882 and remained there until his grown children decided to relocate him north to be closer to the family, which doesn't make any fucking sense. During the exhuming, it is said that thieves stole the judge's gold teeth from his mouth and other valuables he'd been buried with. And it's this unfortunate event that many felt is the cause of the judge's unhappy spirit that still resides within the cemetery. He's been seen sitting in a tree and roaming the grounds. Like, legit in the tree? That would fuck me up. Just look up, you just see a ghost just sitting in a tree.
Like, you think of ghosts, you see them
Like
or at least
walking
you would
the
think,
grounds.
Yeah, walking, going through doors, maybe in a window.
Chilling.
Just staring at you like.
And then you look up and goes, the fuck you looking at?
Yeah, like, is he sitting up there with a combat knife? What the fuck?
The judge isn't alone here. There are several other spirits that have chosen to haunt the cemetery, including one of a young girl who also died from yellow fever. So that is the cemetery where we have yellow fever ghosts.
Yeah.
Well, the reason
Ghosts
why
that hang on trees.
the reason
he
why
died
the
of yellow
cemetery
fever.
exists is because they already had one in town, And it was a Catholic cemetery, and the Protestants needed to put some of their own people somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's when they went. You believe it or not, we have a Huguenot cemetery right here in New Jersey.
Oh, it's Huguenot, not
It's
Huguenot.
called the French Huguenot Cemetery in New Jersey.
Okay,
yes.
okay, cool. Can we just realize how much this guy was a player and the motherfucker had gold teeth? I'm just saying.
You start
Like-
stealing from the corpses, things are going to happen. I mean, that's the way it is.
I have a question. You know somebody has gold teeth. Give me a shovel.
And let me get. You're going to dig down 6 feet. This should be interesting. I can't get it off the table. You're going to go down 6 feet, and you're going to move a solid piece of concrete to get to a coffin.
They weren't pouring concrete in 1882, Dad.
Oh, so you want to go down there? You just want to go to that cemetery and start digging up the fucking place?
Hey, if they're being buried with gold teeth.
Biggest gopher I've ever seen.
Look at him.
Start
He's
fucking-
going to go get gold teeth, too. Look at him.
You want to go too?
You don't fuck with that shit?
No,
I mean, they
I've already
using it.
dug a trench. I dug 20 inches, and that was like all day. So like 6 feet is gonna take a while.
Oh, so it's not about getting the teeth. It's the work to get to the teeth. Okay, get it.
Well, that's
So get him a backhoe. Let's
Yeah, that's why we get a backhoe, bro. Like, we're all good. All right. The Casablanca Inn. Step aside the Casablanca Inn for lovely views of the Matanzas Bay and an elegant hideaway of on your St. Augustine vacation. Be prepared to be spooked, though, as this Mediterranean-style bed and breakfast has a history of ghostly activity that is sure to send a chill up your spine, even on the warmest of Florida afternoons. The story goes that the woman who owned and operated the Casablanca began consorting with and working for some seedy characters involved in bootlegging when she was faced with financial ruin. She became their outlook, warning them when investigators were nearby by waving a lantern in the window of a second-story room that faced the ocean. As payment, she not only got paid handsomely, she also got alcohol to serve to her patrons. Since her death, many have reported seeing a white light shimmering back and forth in that very same window. Other eerie activity includes the sound of light footsteps on the wooden floors, disembodied voices of children, and misty shape resembling an elderly lady floating about the inn.
Yeah.
Not impressed. Not impressed. Look at him.
See again. You're giving me the same stuff. What I find impressive about this place is she was a bootlegger. She made a lot of money from bootlegging in the 1920s. So, and the people that were coming to these speakeasies were, staying at the inn. They were, I guarantee there was prostitution going on.
What's bootlegging again?
Huh?
Getting alcohol is bootlegging, right? Like,
Bootlegging is
Bootleg-
selling
yeah, when they-
alcohol illegally.
Yeah. Okay.
Back there in the Prohibition
Just
era.
had a.
Yes, because that's another
I had to touch up,
well
bro.
thought out
Sorry.
plan that the United States government have. We're going to just outlaw alcohol
Okay, we're not.
and
shitting
then
on
wonder why the
United States
crime
government
rate went
right
up.
here.
I get it. Good job, guys.
All right, Dad. Let's go to your place and then we'll talk about the lighthouse.
Okay, I can't wait to talk about Harry's Seafood and the Bar and Grill, and that's on Avenida Menendez Avenue in St. Augustine, Florida. Okay. This place, it used to be called the DePorres House, was originally built of tabby, but made by mixing burnt oyster shells, sand, and ash to create a concrete-like substance. Okay. Apparently, Harry's Seafood is haunted by a man in a tailcoat and an enslaved woman and the feisty ghost Catalina. Okay, so is anybody going to ask me?
Catalina?
So there's 3 of them.
Yes. Is anybody
Hold
going to
on.
ask me who Catalina is?
Catalina, can I just... I'm not going to take a stab. I'm just going to guess because that name does sound like a hooker name. Was she a hooker?
No, she was not.
Okay, then I have no other guess. Anybody else?
Okay, Catalina. The most St. Augustinians are familiar with the fearless spirit that is Catalina, but few know her story. Catalina was the daughter of the home's first owners, Juan Navarro and Salvador Francisco de Porres, who they named the house after. In 1768, as the Spanish gave up control of St. Augustine to the British, the de Porres family fled to Cuba. And they settled in Cuba. They remained in Cuba until 1784 when the Spanish forced the British out of East Florida. Catalina, now a married woman, knew it was the right time to return to her beloved St. Augustine. Okay. And she reclaimed her childhood home. When they arrived, they were shocked to see the city's once grand homes in a state of disarray. Damaged beyond repair, the houses were pending auction or demolition by the governor. Somehow, Catalina and her husband convinced the then governor to
Talk into the mic, please.
return the house to them. Okay. They reclaimed the house. Okay. And they rebuilt it and whatever. One day when the family was away, their beloved villa had been claimed by a company in New York, which converted it into a storage barn. They restored the home to its former glory. Unfortunately, Catalina was unable to enjoy it for very long as she died a few years later. Legend has it that even in death, she's still at that home. Okay. Some people encounter her. She's claimed to be one of the most active ghosts in St. Augustine. She manifests right in front of people, the patrons of Harry's Seafood. The apparition is known for her boldness, gliding across the second floor dining area in what some believe to be a white bridal gown.
My question is, well, first of all, we all know the woman in white story, so let's back it down with that. But like,
Fuck that.
what is the tragic story here? There's nothing really.
I'm getting to it if you
All
let
right,
me
I'll
finish.
fuck myself.
The apparition is known for her boldness. I said that already. Even when the restaurant is filled to capacity, she still manages to show herself. Her presence is said to fill the air with delightful scent, a perfume customers have described as flowery and musky at the same time. More move over Chanel number 5. There's new fragrance in town. Yada yada. Okay. Catalina became a popular tourist attraction with tons of tourists and locals flocking to Harry's, hoping to run into this lady in white. A vulnerable moment. For those who are looking to encounter Catalina, the second floor restroom is your best bet because it once was her bedroom. They turned it into the woman's bathroom. Okay?
That's kind of fucked up.
There's a story circulating on the internet of 2 women who taunted Catalina, and it didn't end well. The 2 decided to stop by the haunted restroom to see if the lady in white would reveal itself to them. They sat there for a few minutes asking Catalina to come out, and she didn't. They turned to insults. They said she was too scared to be seen,
Well, that's
deeming
the
her a
problem right
coward
there.
as they left. Huh?
You never turn to insults because you're going to get a reaction.
Well, listen. They laughed their way out of the establishment, forgetting almost immediately what they had said. So they left, and, they taunted this poor animal. Or this
Animal?
this poor woman.
Wait a minute!
Okay. Now, easy. But Catalina didn't forget.
Hold up.
Sometime later, one of the women returned to Harry's on a ghost tour. As the tour guide recounted Catalina's story, she got a sudden and unexpected urge to go to the ladies' room. She took care of her business, washed her hands, and turned the faucet off. Her side was out of paper towels, so she walked to the other side to dry her hands. As she did, the tap she just closed started spewing water. The pressure increased as if someone was turning the knob to increase the pressure.
That's not scary.
She thought to herself, did I forget to turn the faucet off? By that time, the water was on full blast. She walked back to the other sink and stuck her hand under the running water and yanked it away in pain. It was scalding water.
She turned the hot water on.
Right. She shut off the faucet and bolted out of the bathroom, pale as a ghost. The tour guide caught wind of what happened and told her she must have done something to anger Catalina. That day, the woman learned that ghosts, especially one as spunky as Catalina, should never be taunted. So there is a ghost.
That's the scary thing? She turned the water hot? She turned on the hot water?
It's not that it's scary. It's that that's an encounter. And I mean, you want me to say that she said boo?
Well,
and
no,
that's it?
you were building it up like like they left and then they got hit by a car, something like that. Like, just wait, that's the tragic moment. No, she just turned on the water faucet. Ooh, I'm scared.
They cursed her out.
She
and they
didn't
got
like
hit by a
swearing
meteor.
either because a woman was swearing
Oh, she doesn't like swearing?
and
Fuck
she
her.
smacked a woman in the side of the head. The guy. He'd been hit by an unseen force, presumed to be Catalina's spirit. All anyone could do was say, we told you not to mess with her. So she apparently takes pot shots at things she doesn't like. She shows herself to patrons of the thing.
She
of the
shows herself.
restaurant.
She shouldn't be doing that.
And
She
you know
should
what?
cover herself up.
And she's still residing at her home.
Yeah, she wouldn't like us visiting. We can't go to that restaurant if she doesn't like cursing. Like ghosts, we're from New Jersey. That's our language.
He reaches his limit.
Oh yeah, he's high. He's fed. He's done. He's out for the night. West is out of the building, everybody. Da-da-da, da-da-da. All right, let's go over the lighthouse just a little bit. I know it's gonna be a little long segment, but
I was gonna say, do you want to take a break?
no, we'll go over the
All right.
lighthouse segment, and then I want to get this done, and then in the third segment we'll go over pictures and end the show.
Okay, all right. I got a question before we start the lighthouse, though.
Okay.
Of the ones you just mentioned, which ones do you think would be freaked out the most by? Like, which one do you think
Like
you
which,
would actually be scared?
Which place?
Yeah, which place?
Well, if you're asking me, I don't get frightened over ghosts.
Dude, you turned white when I'm not gonna say it, but what the thing that happened to us in the lighthouse, you turned white with.
Well, it was unexpected. I never expected anything like that to happen.
We'll go over it, but like,
Yeah, all
But
right.
that doesn't mean I'm afraid. Look, I'm cautious, absolutely, and it does get unnerving, especially.
I'd
when
be
you're-
very cautious if I saw something flying at my head from an unseemly force.
Okay, so there was it was a little strange there. However, if it was, if I'm sitting in Harry's and this thing comes walking out, I'm going to find it extremely interesting, and I'm going to try to talk to it. Now, other ghosts that hang out in windows and lights are shining and stuff like that,
Or in trees, apparently.
and when you go to find them, they're not there. Or something that tries to play tricks on you with the lights going on and off. Yeah, that's unsettling to me. Afraid? No. Unsettling? That would scare me more than Catalina would. I'm not afraid of Catalina.
I know his response. It would be like, see something disappear. Stop hiding, motherfucker. That's
So we got Eric's. What about you, Joey?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like I've been, like me and Dad and I have been to the lighthouse, so it's a creepy. I mean, we weren't there at night. Let's put it like that. So it's different. For me, I mean, it just the two that would really fuck with me is probably the lighthouse. No, I'm sorry, the jail, because jails are just creepy in general.
Yeah.
And the and the fort. We didn't go to the fort, but from the outside, it's like it's a big fucking fort.
Yeah,
Like,
it's huge.
It's daunting looking. Like I think it's bigger than Alcatraz.
It might be. I don't know, but it's from.
But it's just creepy. Like, and for the jail itself, like it's not a it's not an Alcatraz type jail. It's an old looking jail. It's like it just looks like a building, you know. It's not like one of those things, maximum security type prison type thing. It's just like, hey, the jail's next door to my house. It's one of those type things, and it is creepy looking. But like, I don't know. From the reports, there has been a lot of reports of the same thing. Obviously, we went through with all these places, just the same things happening in each location.
Right.
So it's not like.
See, the thing is, what we have first-hand experience from the lighthouse. We've experienced something there. These other ones, you're only going by accounts that are on the internet and in ghost tours and stuff like that. Huh?
And proof.
Well, I'm not saying they're not true, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be afraid of anything like that until I experienced it myself.
I don't know, man.
And now the thing that happened at the lighthouse, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
It was very unnerving, and it happened almost like when I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. I don't know.
How about you?
Well, I was gonna say I don't know. I kind of feel like the military hospital.
Oh, the Spanish military hospital,
I feel like that would probably be the worst hotspot
because it's a Native American burial ground.
Well, yeah, that for one, and two, like think of the war and all that shit that it was going through. There's probably a lot of angry ass spirits there, just because like. You got to think about it. It's early, 18?
Yeah, early 1800s.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Medical field was not what it is today. So it's like, back then it was probably like...
Well, obviously they went through the yellow fever epidemic also.
Yeah, no, it's just like, put a Band-Aid on it. He'll be fine.
Yes. And the old
from
medicine,
what I can imagine.
Serve her cocaine and give her an orgasm, then get her back on the street.
Yeah, like the most horrible shit. Like, I could imagine a lot of spirits from the past life that were just really fucking angry. I feel like there would be way too much there.
Yeah, fuck it.
Take a tour, you just immediately feel like chills or something.
Well, that's what it says. It says you literally, You get an unnerving sensation the moment you enter the door.
Yeah, like I feel
Which
like
I get. I mean, if you're going into it knowing, like, I think it really goes into the mindset in which you have going into. If you go in knowing none of this,
yeah.
and you experience something, that's different. But if you're going in looking to experience something, that's when I think the credibility of what you're experiencing goes out the window a little bit.
That's why I say to you, when we were in the lighthouse, we knew of a possibility.
I'll be honest, the thing that happened to us, I didn't have in my mind, but I heard it.
Yeah,
I only remember that when you brought it up to me.
Right.
So let's get into the White House. Let's get into the lighthouse right now. There's a history with it. Founded in 1564, long before the British landed on Plymouth Rock, St. Augustine stands as the oldest. I said this already. Of all locations, though, few will leave a lasting impression of St. Augustine Lighthouse. Erected by the Spanish crown shortly after the city was founded, the first official record of the lighthouse dates back to an Italian-made map from 1589. Not even our own fucking map had this. It was an Italian-made map in 1589. Not even 100 years after Columbus sailed the ocean blue, 1492. You know, that's crazy to me. In which a wooden watchtower of the northern tip of the Anastasia Island is referenced. Unlike the more traditional lighthouse, it would eventually become the first iteration was built solely to keep watch for enemy ships, as the Castillo de San Marcos, the infamous military fortress, was being constructed. There it stood until 1737, when the original wood structure was torn down and a new, sturdier watchtower was built in its place using local coquina. It remained in this form until after the 7 Years' War, when the British defeated the Spanish and took control of the island. Under the supervision, 30 feet of wood construction was added to the top of the watchtower, as well as a signal fire, turning it into a rudimentary lighthouse for the first time. A map drawn in 1780 reflected the change, displaying a symbol of smoke coming from the top of the tower. The British had hoped this new installation would help ease the amount of shipwrecks that had plagued the inlets around the island, but they continued to be a serious problem. This was especially true in 1782, when 16 British ships, evacuating troops from the battles in the American Revolutionary War, were wrecked during a storm. After the British defeat at the hands of the Americans in 1783, the lighthouse was briefly returned to the Spanish, along with the rest of Florida, as enacted by the Treaty of Paris. But little changes were made to the structure until the new territorial American government took final control of the land in 1824, and it was deemed an official and American lighthouse. During the American Civil War, Confederate sympathizers living in St. Augustine sabotaged the lighthouse in order to block Union shipping. It remained non-functioning until after the war, when the new, victorious American government finally relit the beacon in 1867, returning it to operation. However, the sea level was rising and the lighthouse had to be torn down and relocated further from the shore. The U.S. lighthouse began construction on a new 165-foot tower, complete with 219 steps, in 1871, finishing in 1874. Near the turn of the 20th century, steam-powered vessels were becoming more common, making it easier for ships to maneuver around the shallow sandbars outside St. Augustine. This, plus the coming of the railroad, made St. Augustine Harbor an important step in the distribution of northern markets. The city, as well as surrounding farms, fishing villages, began to flourish, and the lighthouse soon became an important symbol of the progress. It continued to maintain and upgrade the new technology until 1980, when a suspicious fire destroyed the lighthouse keeper's home, and the grounds were declared in excess by the government. St. Johns County, where it is located, considered purchasing the property and building condominiums on the land, but were stopped by the Junior Service League, stepped in with a plan to restore the property and open the Maritime Museum, which is up now. It became fully operational in 1994, and the site was soon added to the National Registry of Historic Places. To this day, it still serves as an active lighthouse, as well as a museum, a popular tourist destination, especially for ghost hunters. Now, let's get into the ghosts. I know the history was a little bit long, but I tried to read through as fast as I can. Standing, yeah, blah, 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 blah. It has memories on the ground floor living quarters where so many lighthouse keepers have laid their heads over the years. The raw, almost sticky, sweet smell of a freshly lit cigar can be detected, subtle beneath the ocean air, remnants of a different time when men huddled around wood-burning stoves and waited out the storms. Inside the lighthouse proper, climbing the tall, spiraling staircase, the sound of crashing waves and screeching seagulls is dampened by the thick walls. The sudden quiet is almost welcome until a new sound emerges, the bell ringing of a little girl's laughter. It starts at the top of the stairs, high above your head, and works its way down, down, down until it is silenced abruptly. In the red room at the very top, the beacon itself sits staring at a giant glass eye, seeing through time to the world that was before. You step out to the catwalk, taking in Anastasia Island and the enormity of the sea beyond. It feels like you'd be one of the lone lighthouse keepers on duty. Blah blah blah. Until you hear until you see her, a shadow of a woman in the corner of your eyes, holding onto the railing and leaning out into the open air until she isn't anymore. You two grip the railing, white-knuckled, looking out over the trees and the water beyond. You can't help but wonder what it would feel like if you stepped out too. To be nothing more than memory left in St. Augustine Lighthouse, standing, watching, waiting centuries, blah, blah, blah. A lot of fucking caretakers have died on the property.
You know, the most notable of what happened here originally, the one lighthouse keeper had 2 daughters and 3 little friends that she would play with all the time. And what they did one day, they were playing with a little cart that was on like railroad tracks, and that would go down to the sea. And that thing was designed to bring goods from the boat to the lighthouse. So they used to play on this thing, and it would go down like a little ride. Well, one day, the girls were in it, and it derailed, and they fell off the pier into the water. One of the construction workers found it, saw what was going on, jumped in the water, and saved 2 of the kids. The lighthouse keeper's 2 daughters and a friend drowned. From that moment on, they hear little girls laughing in the woods, the little patter of footsteps around, giggling going on.
Well, you just heard it. They hear the little girl laughing from the top of the lighthouse.
Right, that's all part of it. As far as the cigar smoke you're talking about, that's called, they only know this by, called the man. I think it's a guy named William Russell. William Russell was one of the lighthouse keepers in 1859.
And by the way, this place right now is smoke-free zone.
Yeah.
So, but my question is, like, I throughout the years, well, I mean, the museum is rebuilt, so I can't even say that. Because I'm sitting there thinking like, if this building is old, obviously, which again, it's not as old as the lighthouse itself.
Right.
But like, if you're smelling cigar smoke, can't that just be into the wood itself? After so many years of people just smoking around it?
I guess it could be, but if it's fresh and it's only smelled a certain time, in other words, you'd smell it constantly then. And if people are in there and they don't smell anything, and then 2 hours later, it's like somebody was smoking in the one where they had the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's the room they're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't smell anything.
I didn't smell any cigar smoke either.
I mean, that place is creepy in its own right, because the basement alone is...
Oh yeah, we have a video up on Green Hour Media YouTube page.
It's just creepy. It's a great place to visit.
Well, the one, okay. I don't know if you ever watched the video.
Something will happen.
Did you ever watch the video of us going to St. Augustine?
No, I actually haven't watched it yet.
Take a look at it whenever you get the chance, because the basement is creepy, and this is just creepy for me alone. I don't know why they have one of these. I don't know what it was. When you go into the basement, you go into one of those.
The mannequin?
No, those are creepy by itself. But you go into like the spiral staircase from one living room, I think it is, down into the basement.
Right.
You to the right, you're going. Okay, so you have this one room that has an up thing and has museum artifacts, and then you have another room that's just 2 rooms down there. In between the 2 rooms, there's these 2 holes in the wall.
Right.
And you look in them. Now, what they have in there now is like ship displays hanging and
In the
like
darkness.
lights in the complete darkness. It looks cool but creepy at the same time.
Right.
But I'm like, what the fuck
And I do
were
believe,
those two rooms for?
Well, I think they were coals. I think they were to put coal in there to keep for the furnaces, for the coal burning furnace to keep the building warm. Now, I mean, I could be wrong. If you remember, I don't know if you saw the Ghost Hunters episode when they went to St. Augustine the first time, when they saw
Doesn't
that
watch
shadow
Ghost
on the
Hunters.
steps, which was absolutely creepy
Yeah,
and
we're
on
gonna
your
talk-
mind when you're walking them steps.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in the next segment after
Right.
we're done with
But
this.
when you go in there, and I've completely lost train of thought what I was going to say, but
Welcome to 63 years old.
well, the whole thing is, it's just like, yeah, forget it. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, folks.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, with the cigar residue, if there was a lot of smoking and it like seeped into the surroundings, you would smell it all the time. It wouldn't be just a little bit here and there.
Right. I agree.
Tonight is the first time I heard about the woman on top of the lighthouse, though. The apparition of the woman on top of the lighthouse looking like she's about to jump.
Yeah,
I've never heard about
Yeah,
that.
I haven't either.
Now,
What about the one tour? Well, no, he wasn't. Okay, good. I'm
so one of the whatchamacallits, one of the things that people hear in the lighthouse itself, and this is one of the what is that called?
whistling.
Yeah, not that. I'm saying like when people are experiencing, I guess the experience is one of the
Right.
the accusations or experiences people have is whistling out of nowhere. Now, granted, how many people do you think were in the lighthouse when we were there? 20 tops.
Well, where we were standing, we were actually
Mid.
at the top of the lighthouse, ready to go out onto the catwalk. And it's funny because when you go out to the catwalk, to the right is the actual inside of the lighthouse. It's spinning, and it's the Fresnel lens is in there, and you see all the inner workings of it. But you had the one guy that works there, and he won't talk about it. And all he says is, he goes, when it's time to leave this building, I'm out of here with the last tour. He goes, I don't stay in this building by myself. So, and overall of this, we're talking, and then I'm sitting there going, oh my God, there's the whistle. And he looked at me, he goes, yeah, there's the whistle. So he confirmed what I was hearing, that yes, I did experience a whistle in there. And I guess when Joey said there was 20 people, there might have been maybe 10 people on that catwalk at the time, but they're outside the building. It was just
you
me,
saw people
Joey
walking down the
behind me,
stairs, though. That's
and the tour guide.
and there was people. Now it's a small staircase, so like when people are walking down,
And it
you
gets
have to
smaller the higher you
yeah,
get.
you have to wait obviously for them to come down. So,
Right.
there was maybe, like I said, if there was 10 people on the catwalk, then there's 10 people on the catwalk. There may have been 5 or 6 people walking down the stairs. But this was no. It doesn't seem like anybody else heard it. Like it was just
Yeah.
us. Like nobody reacted to it going down the stairs. Like, oh, who's whistling?
But to be honest, Joe, I didn't either. I heard it, and as I was getting onto the catwalk, and I said that to the guy, that's when it hit me. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I physically, for the first time, I actually got to experience something
That's
That
said to be there.
said to be there. And it was almost like it was going on while the business of the place was going on.
Yeah.
So you maybe in my mind at the time I'm thinking, well, who's whistling? But it was the whistle that they were saying. It was a constant drone, and that's when I got to the bottom of the lighthouse. There's a video of it. He's already out of the building, and I walked out of the building saying something like, "I'm never coming back to this place again. This is crazy." It's on that video on YouTube, and I encourage anyone that has access to YouTube to go and check it out, because it really it's really strange. Really strange.
Who has access to YouTube?
Yeah.
You
A lot of
mean
people don't have access to YouTube.
90% of the world?
All right, so then the 90% of the world, go look at the video. And tomorrow it'll bust wide open.
You don't have to fucking sit there and say people who have access. It's like, to people who have access to food, go eat. No shit.
See, now this is where I'm trying to be nice. Okay, I could say if you had access to Jenny Craig, I'd take it. But I'm not going to do that.
Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored.
I mean, Jesus H. Christ, I'm trying to be nice here. And of course, I didn't think just like his mom. Anyway,
well, we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna come back with more stuff about the lighthouse and some pictures. Because I do want to show the picture of the top of the lighthouse from the ghost hunter thing to Josh and get his interpretation of it. Make you shit your pants, my guy. But we're gonna be right back. Here's to more of our sponsors. Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented Neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What's that?
No calories, no sugars, no fillers, and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to dubby.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Passion Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby
and be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you liked this video today, please click the like and subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification icon to keep up with all our videos.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
adamandeve.com.
And welcome back. Now, since Anthony's not here, the Pope is not here, I'm the one who's going to do the BetterHelp commercial. So betterhelp.com/question, use that if you want to use our personal link to save some money on betterhelp.com. Betterhelp.com is a place where you can link with a personal counselor that's going to help you with whatever need you mentally need. If professional, any other mental help that you need, this betterhelp.com will connect you with a personal therapist guy who sits there. I'm gonna fuck it up. Who sits there and
save
does
a little bit of money,
and you can save a little bit of money and get help. betterhelp.com/question. I use it.
And if you're listening to this program, you can use it too.
Hey, man.
Your English is not very good looking.
Well, it's not English. I mean, like, it's a hybrid.
Of what, gibberish in English?
talking too fast and having too much fat around my mouth. Doesn't work.
That's a little slob that softball. Go ahead.
Slobbed out sloth ball? What the fuck was he talking about? You're thinking about balls being slobbed, Dad? Calm down. Anywho, let's go into some pictures of the lighthouse.
You know, Joe, if you could have fit through the door at the top of the lighthouse, I might have thrown you off.
I was on the catwalk. I have a picture of me on the catwalk.
Yes, they have.
I have a very pretty picture of me on the catwalk. Sun going down behind me, me just standing there with my fresh haircut. I look really nice.
And blocking out half of Florida. That's okay, though.
Yes, the sun reflecting off your forehead. Anywho, let's get into the first picture.
That is a creepy photo, I can tell you right now.
Hold on. He's dead.
Fuck that. We're not gonna sit there and blow past that comment.
What?
You're standing there blocking half of Florida.
I can't see the lighthouse. Joey, please move to the left.
First of all, fuck y'all, all right?
I'm sorry, that hit way harder than I thought.
That's not funny.
Yes, the fuck it is. Okay.
All right, Joshua, first photo.
All right, let's see. What
All
we
right,
got
on the
here.
left, this is from the Ghost Hunters TV show.
Okay.
They were just, they actually saw it in live. If I remember the episode correctly, they saw it in real time and then went to playback to see what the fuck they caught. This is halfway up. Now, this is middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
No one's there. Lighthouse is closed. They're the only people in that lighthouse.
Yeah.
Plus the camera crew, but they only have one. I think it's 2 extra people along with 2 ghost hunters. So 4 people inside this lighthouse at the time.
Yeah.
They go back and they see this fucking thing halfway up. Now, this is just a picture. You watch the video, in which I cannot bring up.
Yeah.
You see it poke the head out, and then that disappears where you just see this again.
And it's weird too because this photo, if you could see it in real time, like they recorded it, you would see that, like in the stairwell, the light is shining through the stairwell, so you see this black thing moving, going to stair. Then it goes from where you see it here. It even goes higher up to the top, and it pokes its head over.
Yeah, like
looks,
all the way up on top,
and
it
then
does
comes
poke its
back.
head out again.
That was
in the video.
probably to me, as far as the original Ghost Hunter series, the one that just put that show on a map for me, because it's like
besides the apparition in the Eastern State.
Yeah, when you
that one fucked me up.
Dude Run, yeah.
But yeah, so that photo right there,
This is creepy, man.
This is enhanced too.
Yeah.
Like the what you saw on the episode, it wasn't, you see the color of this. It's all, they enhanced it to look like what the actual inside looks like. You're looking at this picture in black and white,
mm-hmm.
and you see it like very clearly. And this is also enhanced as far as like, the graininess and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw that, like I got to that, I looked down at that particular area when I was in the lighthouse, and I'm like, that's a far fucking drop down. You're halfway up at that point,
Yeah.
It's creepy knowing that. And I looked straight up. Like, obviously, anybody who watched Ghost Hunters and go there, you're gonna sit there and go, I have to look straight up, because if I'm gonna experience that,
Right.
I want to experience it.
Yeah.
I didn't experience it, but like just being in that moment, like imagine you're the ghost hunter and nobody else is in this building.
Yeah.
And you see that pop its head over the fucking thing. What are you doing?
I will not fuck around and find out.
They continue to go up the stairs.
Yeah, that's a no for me, dog.
Absolutely creepy. Don't forget, you're seeing this it's lit. That's only because this is
A camera flash.
right. This was actually in pure darkness.
Yeah, they ghost hunt in pure darkness.
and they were doing it through the FLIR, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And it was that's the night vision camera. And wow.
Yeah,
It's
and they
just-
saw that.
the live video is
Now
much
their
more impressive.
eyes didn't see it. Obviously, it's in
Okay,
pure darkness.
okay.
They saw it through the little camera lens that they had, and they saw something poke its fucking head out. When I saw that live the night of, I shit myself. I literally
That was crazy.
did. So, what do you think of that, Joshua?
I mean, yeah, I could definitely say that's creepy. I mean, did they go all the way to the top to make
All the
sure?
way to the top, and there was nobody there.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that is creepy then.
And they also caught on audio the whistle
Oh, all right, cool.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So when I it was pretty fucked up. Now the picture that's alongside of it,
That's not from Ghost Hunters.
that's not from Ghost Hunters. I believe this is just a random photo from just somebody passing by. That looks like a lady in white. It looks like a lady standing in what they said is the lady on top. And that's creepy to me because, okay, obviously there's a barrier around this, but it looks like she's literally at the edge. All right. I mean, granted, it's a very blurry photo. So that could be somebody,
Yeah.
an actual person.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the time of day, stuff like that. It looks like it's in broad daylight, so I would think that it was somebody visiting. And maybe being very fucking stupid and getting over the guard or whatever the case is. So it's like, if it was more faded even in daylight and there was like an outline, but that's way too pronounced.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. All right, let's go to the next photo. We'll go to... What do I want to bring up here? Fuck it. Go to A2, Dad.
Not Jason Voorhees.
All right, now obviously this photo's blurry in itself. And
What the flying fuck is
if
that?
I'm looking at this correctly, this is at the cemetery.
Yeah.
Because next to him, that has to be a tombstone.
Now, is that an actual person or is that supposed to be a ghost? That's the question.
I think it's supposed to be a ghost, but it has to be a very small ghost because if it's the size of the tombstone...
Is that what that is?
That's a tombstone right there.
Well, you got to be specific because there's giant ass tombstones.
Yeah, that's a large tombstone on the right. On
It's
the
still
left
not
is
as
your
tall as a
normal-
person.
Yeah.
No,
well,
there's tombstones that are that big, dude.
Not like that. That
I'm not
looks
buying
like...
into this photo. I'm not.
You're not buying into this photo?
And I'll tell you why. It does look like Jason Voorhees. Block is right because to me, what ghosts have masks on?
I don't think it's I don't think it's a ghost with a mask. I just think it's a blur, to be honest. I mean,
It is
this
a blur,
photo,
and it's one of
the
those
photo is
things-
very blurry itself.
Right. It's one of those things where you know what you can believe it if you want. Again, it's blurry. There's not enough proof for me here because the way, and if it's a ghost, the light of the moon or whatever is bouncing off its head.
Maybe it's Joshua.
Okay. To me,
Yeah,
it looks like
totally.
somebody set this up and it's
Blurred their
just-
camera themselves.
Yeah, it's very easy to do that, Joe. You need to put that out there. Oh, it's a ghost.
All right.
I'm gonna be skeptical of this one.
Okay,
Someone was
okay.
trying to recreate Michael Myers.
All right, let's go to A5 then.
You got the zoom in on that bitch. What the fuck?
All right, so A5 again, cemetery, because that looks like one of those tombstone caskets.
Mm-hmm.
This one looks a little creepy to me though, because it looks like a full-fledged human being.
Yeah.
Very wispy looking. It looks like it has a veil on and a mask under, or a white face. You see the white hands, but the picture, like that, the person there is very blurry looking, but the picture itself is not as blurry as the last photo.
Oh, okay. So you said A5.
A5
I'm on A5, and all I'm looking at is this white circle,
and a black shadow in the middle.
a black thing in the middle.
I see two hands. I see a face. I see a nose,
I
forehead.
see a blurred out face again. It looks to me like it's a mask. It looks like it could be the same one that was in that previous photo we just looked at. I mean, that to me, that's what I'm getting out of it. The two white things on the bottom, if that was his hands, got big arms. You know what I mean? I can't. There's
looks
not
like-
enough here for me.
It looks like it's Scooby-Doo running. You know, like the
It
hunched
just
over
looks
running.
like, you know, it looks to me from this angle. It looks to me like if you ever saw the Wizard of Oz. It looks like that picture of the guy that they shot on the wall, who was supposedly the Wizard of Oz. That's what I'm getting out of it, because to me, there's not enough here for me to say yay or nay. I can't.
Damn, Dad shot on both.
And again,
photos in
if
the
you
middle.
see there's a stripe on its head of light bouncing off of it, so that would have to be a solid object.
We talked about this. If,
Ghosts aren't solid objects.
First, we've talked about this. If ghosts can cast shadows, Why can't they reflect light?
I don't think they can. That's just me. I
Well,
could be wrong.
do you think a ghost can cast a shadow?
I'm going to say, in my personal opinion, I believe a ghost can block out the light.
But can't reflect it.
I don't believe they can reflect it, and I don't believe that they can actually cast. No, I can't say. I don't know. The jury for me is still out on casting a shadow. I don't know. But to me, again, this looks to me like it's a hoax. That's my opinion. I'm not going to,
All right.
not enough for me here.
Go to A3 then. And this one, I'm trying to figure. I guess the left is the actual, like the photo that it was taken, and then the right is a zoomed in. I'm trying to figure out like where in the actual photo did they zoom into, because I don't see, like maybe over here, like down here.
Yeah, it's a very small picture.
But on the right side, you could clearly see a face.
Again, this is.
I don't know that I see nose, I see mouth, I see eyes, I see even
you know what I
eyebrows.
see? What is that one horror movie where
Do you see a face, Joshua?
there's a clown?
Kind of looks like a gremlin to me.
To me, it looks exactly like the face that we saw with the Myrtle Plantation, with the 5 white ladies and the face in the window. It looks exactly like the same face.
To me, it looks like it's a prop that's set on a tree somewhere. That's
You fucking skeptic.
and it looks to me like it's got an Irish hat on its head, a pilgrim's hat or something.
But I see a veil.
I don't see any veil at all.
Do you see a pilgrim's hat?
I
Oh,
just
fuck, I've
don't.
been seeing some things.
I don't see it. I don't.
See, look.
I see a tie. I see a shirt and a tie. I see a
Mouth,
funky looking
nose.
jacket.
Maybe your head's putting. I don't see a jacket. I see a little bit of a white
You know,
inside that look like a tie,
right.
but I don't see a pilgrim hat. I see a veil and maybe long hair.
I don't see any hair. I see, from what I see a hat.
All right, and let's go to the
And
last
it's
photo.
weird.
And it looks like something's hanging from the tree.
What's the light thing here on a whatever this is here?
No, I think A3, the left was the bigger photo, and the right was the zoomed in. So A1, I'm just going to say this looks like a wisp. A wispiness, legs, head. I don't know.
Again, blurry up in a tree. It looks like something
You think
sitting
these
up
photos
there.
were set up? That's what you're saying.
To me, there's not enough here to say yay or nay. I don't think ghosts have caps on their heads. I don't think a ghost is going to reflect the sunlight.
What do you mean? Hold on. You don't think ghosts have caps on their heads?
No.
Okay. Then what the hell did we talk about in Myrtle Beach when she was wearing the green beret?
No. I mean,
Not
all right,
beret.
so I said it
Whatever
wrong.
the fuck.
I'm talking about a mask that covers her whole. Kind of like in the movie The Town that Dreaded Sundown. I don't believe a ghost can have that kind of thing. To me, this looks like, if you want my opinion, it looks like a leprechaun sitting in a tree.
A leprechaun sitting in the tree.
Because its little legs are hanging down with some white, look like long white stockings on it.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. And I can't enlarge it any, so I'm only getting, to me, I don't see enough there to say this is a ghost or not. I hope I didn't break anybody's bubble, but
No, you didn't break anybody's bubble. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. So that one with the face creeped me the fuck out. That's fake.
no, I'm not saying I'm right. I mean, look, I could be dead wrong. I don't know. None of us are experts on this stuff. But let's put it this way. If I was walking through the street and I looked up and that fucking thing was sitting there, well, I'd have a little problem with continence. Constant, whatever that is.
I would have a problem in general.
Okay.
But I'll be honest, like the
Wouldn't
more
need
and
it
more,
anyway.
the more and more I would I look at photos and stuff like that from St. Augustine. Now I haven't seen any photos from like any other places. Like I just saw one from the jail that looked pretty creepy. The most photos I see is from the lighthouse and the
Cemetery.
Obviously the cemetery. I exclude the cemetery because you're gonna find shit at a cemetery.
Okay.
Even if you don't believe, you're gonna find some shit at a cemetery. I'm sorry. It's like, okay, why is that not going out? Okay, you're gonna find shit at a cemetery. Like, I don't understand why people get so surprised that they found something at a cemetery. It's like, what the fuck? So I'm not surprised at the cemetery stuff, but most of the stuff I see is either on the grounds of the lighthouse or at the lighthouse itself.
Right.
As far as pictures, like quote unquote evidence, you know. Any other stuff is just hearsay and eyewitness testimony, if you want to, encounters, if you want to put it like that. Like, none of it has been filmed. Like, I saw a couple pictures from the jail, like they were kind of creepy looking, but that's really about it.
And to be honest with you, if I didn't, two things with the lighthouse, if we didn't experience what we experienced, and ghost hunters never went there, I'd be skeptical too, because there's really not a lot. There's stories, and if you don't experience them, they're just stories, like I said.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to put cold water on anybody's, who has experience, like people in the steakhouse, Harry's Steakhouse. The people actually saw this thing. You know what? More the better. That's great. And so tell us your stories. Let us know them. Do you have any evidence? You have anything to back you up on it?
It always bothered me, and I guess, again, you're just sitting there. You have to be in it to know your mindset. To me, something like that, if I'm experiencing something, especially in this day of age, I'm taking my phone out recording. Especially something like people are not gonna fucking believe what I'm saying if I don't record it. So I don't understand the mindset of people like, oh, this happened. Fucking record it. Like, I tend to believe videos, and again, this is the most fucked up, and I understand the day of age where, like, technology is so advanced, like, even the most blurry video or photo can be, like, digitally enhanced or, edited some way. But I tend to believe more videos that are, like, straight up from someone just recording that, like, they're not that type of person, and their video is all grainy and stuff like that. That person's not going to know how to digitally enhance. They can barely get a cell phone that records proper video. You think you just sit there digitally enhance the video to make it look like there was a ghost there?
You're really treading on the same thing as UFOs. Give me one UFO that's not grainy. Give me
the
one
problem.
picture
Okay,
of that.
the problem with the UFO example is that when you're, especially with phones, if you don't have a lens, and I think Josh can back me up on this one because we both, if you don't have a lens that either films properly at night,
right,
or is capable of zooming in and giving a clear picture,
right,
you're going to get a grain photo or picture from any cell phone ever. You could have the iPhone 855 and it could have 3D built into it. When you try to zoom in, it's going to be grainy.
Right. No, absolutely. I agree.
Because there is not a lens that is attached to these phones that can zoom in at that particular distance in which you needed to zoom in on from that far away.
Right. Okay.
So I understand it's frustrating to see grainy.
Especially at night because you don't have
The light source. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's why when you're at night and you're sitting here trying to like what the fuck is that? You squint because you're trying to dilute. I believe the word is dilute the light source in your eyes so you can get a clearer picture of what it is.
Well, even your eye or your light source. I mean, when we were in St. Augustine, I remember on the beach, it was at night, and I kept saying, "Joe, look at that thing. It looks like a question mark."
Yeah.
And but you couldn't, if you looked directly at it, you couldn't see it. It looked like to the side, and there it was. So I took out my camera.
Yeah, no,
I took a picture of it, and
but
it really looks like a question mark.
But that's the thing, though. I tend to believe those videos a little bit more than, like, if it was 4K built to the side and it looked like they had the camera set up. I'm like, because you're expecting, and then you're sitting there, like, oh, this is exactly what happened of exactly what I said. To me, unexpected videos are more believable to me than things that look like they were set up, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem we have, where people don't mentally sit there and go, well, this is happening. Let me record this. They do that with fights, but they don't do it with things that are happening unnaturally. But that's just me. So let's get into whether we believe the town of St. Augustine is haunted. Dad, do you believe the town of St. Augustine is haunted?
Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. And again, I'm probably contradicting myself because here I am asking for proof. But in a place that old, and what happens at the lighthouse, and maybe some of these things that are happening at the cemeteries, and eyewitness reports of the inns and the fort. Yeah, I gotta lean to it is. I don't think it's anything nefarious, but I think there's a lot of ghosts in that region. Yes.
All right. Mr. West, do you think St. Augustine is haunted?
He do believe.
Roblox, do you think St. Augustine is haunted?
I'm just gonna say no. Only because... Well, I'm going to say no just because I don't have the first-hand experience. I mean, if I'm going to be swayed in my opinion by you guys, then probably I could say yes, but I'm only going off of what you guys experienced. For me personally, I know what I've heard from you guys, but it's never been one of those things where I've heard a lot of people talk about it's haunted and stuff like that. It's never been that thing where people brought it up. I've only heard about St. Augustine like once or twice just because it was a famous place in Florida. So, I mean, and then with all these pictures, it's like, yeah. I mean, even if
I might have gotten bad photos tonight. I'll be honest. Like, I just saw these and I'm like, they look, let's debate about them. So I might have picked bad photos, but there wasn't really a lot that I've seen throughout these things. Like, yeah.
So. I mean, the only thing that would sway me towards it is that one photo you showed me of the staircase. What was it, Ghostbusters or whatever?
Ghost Hunters. That's all.
Ghost Hunters. Sorry.
Who are you gonna call? Not these motherfuckers.
Yeah, like, you know, I mean, that's only little bit of evidence I could really say and be maybe a little bit convinced by, because, you know, if that was really like night vision. And they didn't see it, obviously, because it was dark, but caught it on camera at night, you can consider that evidence. But I'm really just going to go with no, to be honest.
All right. I truly do. Again, I believe it is, and I think I'm in the same vein with Dad, because I've had a first-hand experience with something that I want to believe that it was supernatural or paranormal, if you will. Just from it, again, we've said this many times in this season so far, just with how old these particular places are that we're talking about, there has to be something there. Yeah. You know, now granted the earth is old itself, but like places are different than other places. You know, you're gonna have a strong connection to the land or the building in which that place has happened if it's still there. That's just what I believe in, and I'm going to stick to that. So, yes, I do believe St. Augustine is haunted.
It's a story, and he's going to stick to it.
Yeah, and you could probably see it more because we know the long-ass history of it now.
Yeah, and then just, and again, for me, it's hearing an encounter, experience of that encounter myself, and it backs that person's story up, you know? That's what really sets it off for me. When you can sit there and say, well, this happened to someone, and you go there and go, that's exactly what happened to me too.
Yeah.
But, all right, now we have 2 more episodes left in this season, guys. Season 11, we are finishing off. Next week, we're talking about the infamous Roswell case as we get back into aliens. And then we end off the season with the Mary Ghost Ship, and that has a dark history. So, we talk about Roswell, you know, that connects to Men in Black, and it happened in 1948, I believe it was. So next week we're talking about Roswell as we finish off this Ghost Aliens season. And at the end of the season, we're going to tell you what our next season, season 12, is about. It's a doozy, as that begins off 2024. But everyone go follow our social medias. Is This Real PC, I believe, is for TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Is This Real Podcast, all one word, is Instagram. Follow our YouTube page, Green Arrow Media, as we're actually trending a little bit right now. One of our YouTube shorts has over 15,000 views. And we have 3 TikTok videos with over 1 million views. So please, if you want to come talk to us, those are our best options, or your best options, or go visit greenhourmedia.org and continue to support our show by listening and buy our merch. Look, I'm wearing a Smooth Brain Scare Me Halloween t-shirt. Halloween just passed. I'm going to put out Christmas stuff in the next couple of weeks. So get your Christmas Is This Real merch, Green Hour Media merch. And we all have little sayings that are on t-shirts right now that you can go buy if you want to listen.
Get bent.
Get Bent is one that's coming out. And did I show you the logo for that one?
No, you didn't.
I'll show you the logo after we're done here. So please, everyone say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, West.
Good night, everybody.
He's such an adorable little soul when he's sleeping, isn't he? We'll see you guys next week for Roswell. Remember, everybody, question everything. Good night.
Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryu West speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc, or on Twitter at isthisrealpc, or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.